So, upon recent viewing of the latest Transformers movie, I felt a sort of motivation to get back into the Transformers grind, and I decided to pick a more prevalent character. Here's a picture. Except it's none of them, or them. He's here too. And here. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, this is Something Somewhere with Lego Transformer Primus. So one thing that I actually like about this robot mode, and it's not even really something I intended it to look like, it kind of just ended up like that, is it has a very, 80s Japanese aesthetic. You know, with the big robots with the shoulder pads fighting Godzilla and kaijus and stuff. That whole vibe, you know, with the big shoulder pads and the center, light beam, you know, the very kind of, clunkiness to it. It doesn't really look like an actual person, more just like a giant mech, which I think that's kind of cool. And you know, he kind of has this is more just a result of the vehicle of the alt mode, but he did end up having those casa hats that Japanese people wear, I guess. And he actually kind of ended up reminding me of that one show, Kamen Rider. Just same kind of overall vibe, with the very exaggerated features and the armor. So another fascinating part of this figure is his form of weaponry. Because he's a giant planet that fights other giant planets, assumedly, he doesn't really need guns. So, back to this hole in the center, which there's another one on the back, so if you hold it up to a light, it will glow. But what I imagine is he transforms, and he could stand in front of a star. And he could use that star and the hole in his chest as basically like a magnifying glass. And he could focus the light and kind of turn it into like a laser beam. You know, obviously there's more to it. It wouldn't just be the light, but that would be its main source of power. And you know, he could transform and shoot it at Unicron, I guess, is a sort of last line of defense. You know, I would imagine that, you know, it would require some level of, warming up, you know.
Fire?
It's still warming up, sir.
Come again?
Warming up, sir.
Warming up! The sun is warming up?
1 second more, and just tippy tap tip-top more,
Honestly.
and we are ready and just on my way.
You know, where it has to charge to fully fire off, and you know, he's got the exhaust in the back. But that's really all I have to say, so let's move on to transformation. First thing you're going to want to do is take his hand, or his hands, and just kind of rotate them backwards like that. And then do the same with his foot. Do the same on the other side, and then you can move on to the next step, which you're going to take his waist and just rotate it 90 degrees. And it's only held on via a one stud connection connected to this, so everything is kind of just held together loosely, so be wary of that. So you're going to take his leg and just kind of rotate it upwards on that ball joint, and have the foot sit on top of that, like, chest piece right there. Then do the same on the other side. Make sure everything is lined up, and then you take the arms and then just fold them down. Once again, make sure everything is lined up so it doesn't look janky. And that is Primus in his planet mode. Now, while this is the only planet figure that I've built, you know, maybe another one will come, but it was a fun little build. It has its imperfections, like these can kind of just collapse in because there's nothing really holding them in place. You kind of just have to balance it like that, and it doesn't really, I mean, it's ball shaped, but it doesn't really look like a planet. You know, you use your imagination, I guess. And another problem I have is his head doesn't really change. Like, you can still see the visor there. So, you know, say what you will about that. But I was able to get these translucent blue dishes, and I was able to layer other like gray dishes on top of it, which kind of gave it like a ring effect. Because, like, if you look at a picture of Cybertron, they usually have those, like, you know, circular, you know, bright blue rings and circles on it. So that's what I was going for here. And another thing is, obviously, you know, it's out of scale, but these are, like, meant to represent, like, cities. It's just an individual building, but, you know, well, once again, just use your imagination. I do like how it's very alien looking. Like, there's a lot of, like, weird jutting out shapes and spires and stuff. It is an illegal technique, but you know, noble sacrifices. Same thing on this side. Just like windows, I guess. I do think it's kind of poetic that what should be the biggest transformer that you know exists within the universe is actually one of my smallest builds. I think only Shotgun is smaller than this. Go watch that video. But that's really all I have to say about the planet mode. For size comparison, here he is next to Turmoil, because I no longer have my Optimus figure. A pencil. And a Dr. Pepper can. That's really all I have to say, so this has been Something Somewhere with LEGO Transformer Primus, and I'll see you next time.
Warning, legalize nuclear bombs.